Good day, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Military and Foreign Affairs Network. I am your host, the voice of reason. And yes, you have guessed it, this is another lesson in insanity. So I want you to go back in time. I want you, the listener, to go back in time when you were in grade school. And whether you were born in the 1940s, the 1950s, the 1960s, the early 1970s, as I was, the 1980s, 1990s, when you were in school, grade school, was there ever a time in which a parent or guardian of a student in a grade school had to sign a non-disclosure agreement? What is an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement? Well, I can tell you I've signed non-disclosure agreements in the corporate setting. I've been part of large layoffs. And fortunately, at that time, I was not part of the group that was getting laid off. I was aware that certain individuals were getting laid off, and that is why the business had me sign a non-disclosure agreement. We had to start making plans for a reduction in force or reduction in our current personnel headcount. So now, why are schools, why are places of learning requiring parents to sign a non-disclosure agreement upon entering these learning institutions? Learning institutions, mind you, that are paid for by those parents through taxes. Usually, when you have a group or a person sign a non-disclosure agreement, it is something you do not want to get out. It is sensitive information. And at this point, it is widely believed, not widely believed, it is widely known that things that are being taught in public schools today, 2023, should not be allowed to be taught. And it makes school administrators uncomfortable. They do not want this information to get out, so they have parents sign these NDAs. Think about that for a second. How insane is that? To know what you're teaching could cause such strife that you do not want it to get out, that you do not want parents visiting schools to talk about what they have seen inside of these schools. Now, one interesting thing that occurred during the sickness, when people were being required to take the substance which would prevent you from getting the sickness. Most schools during the period of the sickness times made students, especially in grade school, and even, obviously in college as well, made them attend classes online, whether it was Teams, Zoom, what have you. It was done in a manner where the child was then at home, receiving his or her indoctrination from these far left institutions. I was able to watch it myself with one of my children in college, and then obviously in grade school as well. And it didn't go over too well. And now parents are wanting to go into these institutions and see exactly what these teachers are putting in their classrooms. Because they are not institutions of learning, they are institutions of far leftist indoctrination. We're not talking about liberalism. We are talking about far left indoctrination. And these administrators, these teachers, in these classrooms know what they're doing. And they don't want it to get out. That is why they're having parents sign these non-disclosure agreements. Many of our listeners listen from other countries as well, whether it's from Europe, Asia, South America. Do you have to sign a non-disclosure agreement to get into a grade school now in your country? Insanity. Absolutely insane to have parents sign non-disclosure agreements because your institution, your school, has become an indoctrination facility, not a school of learning. Have a good day.